strong, empowered, authentic.
What's up, Ginger Nation? This is Tosh.
This is Darin, and you are listening to the Authentic
Ginger Podcast. Welcome, Ginger Nation. I'm Tosh Taylor.
And I'm Darin Roach, and welcome to the Authentic Ginger Podcast. How you doing, Tosh?
I am much better than you. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, apparently so. As you've been sort of seeing what I've been up to in the last several days, I'd say actually a week as we speak right now, I've been blistered with this damn winter cold.
Gross.
And it's not even winter yet.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. I would call it a very bad cold. No COVID, I will put that out there. But my wife obviously would call it a man cold, and I'm just getting totally blown away by every time I make a move, whether it's a sneeze or whether it's a cough or whether it's a sniffle. It's like she looks over at me as in disgust of like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, I was like, I'm sick. You know, I've got a cold. Show must go on.
Do any of the other people in your household have any inkling of a cold?
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it started with everybody else, and it got around to me. And I was clear. I was steer clear of this damn thing. You know, every night for the last 6 nights, you know, I'm fine mostly throughout the day. And then by the time I go to bed, you know, why does it happen? It just cough, cough, cough. Every 5 seconds, it takes me 3-4 hours just to get to sleep these days.
Do you want to? There's a real reason for this, and I'm going to tell you why. You should be sleeping sitting up. So if you can angle yourself, it's because your nasal drip is dropping back on your mouth and it's making you cough. So that's why you're coughing in the night. And I am not a nurse. Don't quote me. Nor am I a doctor.
Sounds good to me.
But as someone who uses their voice for a living, that's what I've figured out. That because I would get the same kind of issues at the same time every year. I'd get an ear infection. Never had ear infections as a kid, but as an adult, I started getting them. I'd get an ear infection, and I would start to get this like smoker's cough voice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like real groggy, gross voice at the same time every year. And then I figured out how to combat that, and part of it was to start sleeping on an angle.
Yep.
So that my throat wouldn't get dry at night from coughing all night. So it's a whole process.
Yeah. And it's funny you should say that, because yesterday, my wife and I were out, Sheva and I were out looking for a bed, and we're getting a new bed. And because I have this cold, I started looking around at some of the bases that you can get these days. But the damn bed was a lift-me-up bed. So you could lift up the front, you could lift up your feet. All of a sudden, it went right into my head like, man, this is the bed for this cold. Sheva, like, why don't we just look at maybe getting this? I was kind of just pretending that I wasn't really thinking about it as a, you know, the 1 or 2 year colds that I get. But I thought, you know what, if we had this, and then I looked at the price tag and I said, we're out of here.
Yeah,
we're going.
Never mind.
Like, yeah, I'll just pump up some pillows and, you know, better yet, I'll just sit up and sleep that way. Like, I'll sit on the side of the bed and sleep. Maybe that's what I'll try next time.
It's really funny that you brought that up, because my husband actually last week was like, we should get one of those beds where my side can go up and your side can go down, because we sleep so differently. What is that? It's like a sleep number bed or something, isn't it? Where you can have
that what it is? Okay.
two. He likes a soft bed. I would sleep on a floor. I like a bed that hard. So finding like an in-between, but I can't believe you brought that bed up. That's so funny. Is it the age we're getting to where we're like, ooh, that's nice.
Now, as you know, we haven't, I haven't shot promo shots for the podcast yet. And so I thought, well, you know what? I think it's time that I get some promo shots done. And I ended up getting in touch with Crystal Bell from Crystal Bell Photography here locally in Wolfville area. And, you know, she said, okay, let's get them done. Let's get them done fast. And so I said, okay, I'm in, I'm ready to go. So the day happens. It was last week. And, you know, as a photographer myself, okay, so I'm not sure if you knew that.
I did not.
As a photographer, oh, okay. So I've been doing photography for well into my, you know, since I was 19. So many, many years. Now, not professionally, but professionally enough that I've done weddings and I've done all sorts of these other things. Now, as a photographer, you're usually a director, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of put the director's cap on. And this time, I wasn't a director. I was the subject. So I'm sitting there, and I was driving to the location. We're doing an outdoor shoot. You've seen the pictures. Mm-hmm. And I got out of the car, and I was getting ready, and I thought to myself, this is really strange. Like, I normally am behind the other side of the camera. So what am I going to get myself into being on this side? Like, so we get to our first location. I'm sitting there and I'm kind of thinking to myself in my head, I'm going, okay, what would I tell myself if I was, in this situation, if I was, photographing somebody for a promo shoot or something for their business or whatever it is. And so in my head, the entire photo shoot, I was like, okay, look down, look up, look sideways, look over this way, look up, look interesting. Don't look interesting. Look like you mean it. Look,
Look
so all this shit, all this shit is just coming through my head. And what it's making me doing, I have this bad sort of posture piece where I start to sag, I start kind of sagging in. And I'm trying to keep in my head straight, like going, okay, thinking to myself as a director, as I was being photographed in all these different things. So to me, at the end of the day, it felt really strange to be on the other side, and I kind of look like a wingnut in some of these photos. You've seen them. It's like I don't photograph well, it's just that's just me, right? Like I know what I look like, right? And there's just certain shots that I just don't photograph very well. But I think we had a few anywhere in there anyway that we can use and we'll be able to use for our promos. So,
well, if you don't photograph well, then she is an extremely talented photographer because I thought they were spectacular.
She did a great job, and I'm very happy. Again, I'll put her name out there again. It's Crystal Bell Photography. So as I'm on a roll, I'm going to throw you out some facts this time.
I'm ready.
Early.
That's my favorite part of the show.
Set for this?
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, mine too. And I don't know what you're going to think of this one, but in Polynesian culture, those with red hair are traditionally believed to come from high-ranking ancestors.
I am totally game with anybody thinking that I should belong in the royal family.
That's right. Yeah.
In any royal family. In any. Not just the ones in the UK.
Exactly. Yeah, in any royal family. Yeah. Polynesian doesn't matter. Wherever it is.
Don't care.
I just want to be yeah.
I just want a tiara, actually.
Yeah.
So that's all I really want.
I'll get one in the mail. Actually, my sister wears tiaras for her birthday every single year.
Love it.
She's over 30. So I won't tell you exactly how old she is, but every year tiara comes out for her birthday.
That's amazing.
So we'll get one in the mail for you. Speaking of the royals, did you know Queen Elizabeth was a redhead?
I did know that.
I knew I wouldn't stump you on that because I knew you're a big fan. But to others listening, I don't know that I would know that, quite honestly, because
she's
when you
been
think
old
of it,
forever. Yeah,
that's my point. That's my point. So how in the hell would you know what color hair she had if you weren't a fan of the royals? You'd never know that. But today you did find that out. So hear it from me first. She was a redhead.
That's something that doesn't get brought up enough because when everybody's like, "Oh, Harry can't be Charles's because he's a redhead." Well, no, the royals have a very long line of redhead in their blood. So, yeah. Right.
Exactly. Hey, by the way, who is a royal that you'd like to follow most and why? Because I know you're a big fan.
I love William. I feel like that's because we're the same age. He was born on my due date as well. So, I always was like, I'm going to marry him. He's the guy I'm going to marry. And you have to, well, back in the day, I don't think this is true anymore, but you would have to have royal blood to be married into the royal family. And I traced my family tree back until I found royal blood. And I was like, that's it. I'm in.
You got it.
I'm in.
Who is your most favorite non-royal who is a royal?
That is it would have been their mom. Diana was obviously amazing, and everybody loved her. The people's princess, if you will.
Right. That's right.
I can't remember how much of this we've talked about. So my husband and I got married at St. Andrews. They have the Algonquin Resort there in New Brunswick. And we got married on August the 31st, which is the day that Diana died.
Oh, wow.
And the suite that we stayed in there was the Princess Diana suite. So it was like this super weird vibe. And then I was like, but she has slept in this room. She has slept in this bed. That's really cool. So
that is really interesting.
She absolutely would have been my favorite. And I'm going to go for Kate. And Kate gets a lot of slack, but I think that Kate handles her job as a royal very well. And I think she handles it very much like Diana did, as in her children come first. And I like that a lot.
Crazy. The royals, they follow you.
I mean, it's meant to be, right?
Man. Have you ever been to the royal buildings?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Can't remember what you call them now.
Yeah. Buckingham Palace.
There you go.
My most amount of time spent in London was changing planes from Halifax to Heathrow and then getting on the plane from Heathrow to Dublin.
That's awesome. Okay, so here's my last fact for you. Dark hair can turn red in the case of severe protein deficiency.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Does that mean that redheads already have a deficiency? I wonder.
That's what I'm wondering. So we need to get a scientist in here to help us figure this one out.
Huh.
Yeah. See, now, look, I stumped you. I think
you
I
did.
did.
You definitely did.
So that's all I've got for facts for you today, Tosh.
Okay, well that's okay because I'm going to back you up with some major celebrity news.
Yes,
does that
let's
sound
hear
good? Actually, we have some really nice, super relevant stuff. I.e., are you a Swiftie? Or any of your girls love Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber in the same bill. I'm there, front row.
That would be quite the show.
Yeah,
quite the
that'd be
show.
amazing.
And tickets would cost a lot of money. Anyway, but being that Selena Gomez is her best friend, I'm not sure that she's going to get into a show with Justin Bieber anytime soon. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, Taylor, last week or 2 weeks ago now, has released that 10-minute version of All Too Well, which, first of all, the video for it, the small movie for it, is amazing. Performer Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, Natural Ginger, which is absolutely amazing. And she killed it in that performance. But also, Taylor Swift, it's supposed to be about Taylor, right? So she's portraying herself as a ginger. And I was like, this is amazing. And then it shows Taylor as, 10 years later, after the whole story of All Too Well. And Taylor shows herself as a redhead. And I was like, someone's got goals, does she?
Now, how did you read into that? That is fantastic.
I think
that is super digging. I love it.
I love it. I think that,
wow.
I don't know if she's just trying to honor how amazing Sadie Sink is, or is that maybe, and this is the one I want to hope, is that maybe Taylor just loves the ginge and wanted to give it a go.
Hey, she directed that too, right?
Yeah.
That was her directorial debut.
Yeah, and it's really good. And the actors that she picked for it, phenomenal. So I'm super impressed with it. Okay, here's another one that it'll blow your mind.
Before you go on,
yes.
I think it should be pointed out that our friend Jenny Formica will look at that video and that clip to ensure it is a true natural redhead. Yeah. We know this.
Yeah, absolutely. But Sadie Sink is a natural redhead because we actually talked about her in our episode with Jenny. So
that's right.
Okay, Ed Sheeran, everybody's favorite ginge. He, along with Elton John, everybody's favorite fake ginger, they released on Friday Merry Christmas, which is their duet together. Awesome song. Already #1 in the UK. Already. Crazy. It just came out on Friday, which is super awesome. And they're both doing, Ed just released that new album Equals, and Elton John's got his Cold Heart out with Dua Lipa right now that everybody is loving. But
which was #1 too, was it not, Tom?
Yeah, it was #1 or #2 in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I also think it's cool that since we're talking about celebrities portraying themselves as gingers, Elton's been doing it for decades. So
how has he been doing that?
He dyes his hair.
He dyes it.
He dyes it. But I looked it up because he does look like he'd be a ginger. He has the complexion.
He does.
But I did a lot of scrounging this morning, and I'm quite certain he's more of a dirty blonde.
Yeah, probably, hey.
But probably with a lot of ginger undertones.
This episode was brought to you by Authentic Ginger Clothing. For more information on Authentic Ginger Clothing, go to www.authenticginger.com. I'll tell you the cutest thing that I had seen on Friday was the very first time that Elton John and Ed Sheeran did an Instagram Live.
Yeah.
It was honestly, it was the cutest thing.
Yeah.
And I say that, and I mean it. They're two together. They're fantastic. Can you imagine a show, a tour of those two guys together?
Listen, you want Taylor and Justin. I want Ed and Elton.
100%.
Okay, my last celebrity thing is about Jessica Chastain. She, of course, is an absolutely gorgeous, a knockout of a woman. And she is doing a movie about Tammy Faye Baker. And it's the story of Tammy Faye Baker. Do you remember who that is?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do and I don't. I kind of thought that she had like taken the fall for her husband's like stealing of money or something.
Right.
But I guess maybe she was just like an evangelist. They also say she was a singer and author, and she even had her own talk show once upon a time too, which is interesting.
Yeah, she was a country singer, I think.
Maybe she was a country singer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tammy Faye Bakker. Anyway, so Jessica Chastain is doing this movie, and they're doing like the pre-watches right now, or whatever you call that. I'm not in movies, so. But anyway, there's rumors swirling about her getting Oscar nods for this performance, so that's pretty exciting. But
that's awesome.
A movie about Tammy Faye Bakker is not something that would suck me in. Like, I won't watch it because I don't care. You know?
Well, because you don't have any. You don't know the character and where they've been and where they've come from. Right. It's probably pretty tough to go watch. But once you see the trailers, once the screenings are done, Tosh.
Thank you. There it is.
Yes, yeah. Once the screenings are done, and you start seeing the trailers out there, maybe it'll change your mind.
It might. You're right. It might. And I also love Jessica. I think she's a fantastic actress who really puts her heart and soul into everything. Also, Anne Hathaway is her best friend, and I didn't know that. And now I feel better knowing that.
Can you imagine if Anne Hathaway was our best friend?
I mean, come on. Would we be happier people? I feel like we might.
Yeah. I mean, you're my best friend. I'm pretty happy.
But Anne Hathaway.
But there is Anne Hathaway. I wanted to wrap up this episode today, since we're getting close to the holidays, with a Redhead holiday gift guide that I thought I would throw out to you and to our listeners.
Is it everything from the Authentic Ginger store?
Yeah. You know what? I kind of forgot to put my own stuff in there. The Redhead Holiday Gift Guide is I guess, a collection of 4 gifts that I had sort of found through online that I would like to put out there. And I believe each of them are from companies that are owned by Redheads. So the first one is Soap for Redheads.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brought to you by howtobearedhead.com. This product is handmade. It's spicy cider scented soap for all of your redhead life. Made by Whiskey River Soap Company. I'm not sure what the soap's going to do, but it sounds to me like it's perfect for redheads.
If you're not allergic to cinnamon like I am, anything autumn flavored I can't have. So maybe I am not a true redhead.
So Soap for Redheads. Go check those out. Go check that out at howtobearedhead.com. So product number 2 is from Gingerful Hair. Have you heard of this company?
I haven't, but I like the sound of it already.
Yeah, Gingerful Hair has a holiday gift bundle that is going to make your hair come to life, Tosh.
Okay.
The the Nina and Rose shampoo, conditioner, and mask bundle is what it's called. They work together to enhance gorgeous hints and glints found within red hair while enriching, hydrating, and repairing to protect each individual strand from root to tip. So this company, I've been following them for quite a while now. Beautiful website, beautiful presentation.
Okay, I've written it down, so I'm going to go check it out.
Gingerfulhair.com. Yeah, so there's another gift idea for you for that redhead in your life. Now, what do you think about bow ties?
Bow ties?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
I know.
Cute.
That's what I do. Yeah, okay. A company I found on Instagram is called Gingerly Sewn, as in sewing.
That's really cute. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know why it's cute? Because this lady, which I haven't been able to get her name yet, but I'm going to work on it, she hand makes bow ties for babies.
Cute.
Yeah, and it's super cute. So we've been trying to connect. I'd like to have her on the show because I really want to get an idea of where her idea came from. But she does have an Etsy shop. And again, it's Gingerly Sewn. You know, you love dogs.
I do.
I know you love your dog to death.
Yes.
Maybe there's a bow tie in there for your dog.
That's what I'm looking her up right now. I've got my phone
right,
out.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's where I went to right away is Tosh's dog, right? There's a baby, right? So there we go. You're going to see some bow ties under the tree this year. And finally, from a company called Redhead Revolution, comes a sunscreen simply called Au Naturel. It's been developed for redheads because it's mineral-based, 20% zinc oxide for the SPF protection. They say it's formulated with turmeric, shea butter, and vitamin C and D. I'm sure that's going to be good for your skin.
Mm-hmm. It sounds lovely, actually.
So those are 4 product ideas, holiday gift ideas, I should say, that I wanted to throw your way. And obviously, number 5, which I left blank on my sheet today, is authentic ginger clothing. I mean, who wouldn't want a Redhead-inspired T-shirt, sweatshirt, hat, for God's sake, a Authentic Ginger podcast pin, which is coming up really soon, under the tree this year, for all the gingers in your life.
It's true.
So authenticgingerclothing.com. Head there, head to the other companies. We're going to have fun as we approach the holidays, and I really appreciate the time and the effort that we're both putting into this podcast, Tosh. It's a giving kind of year, right? It's that time of year where you start to give. So I'm going to give you a compliment and say how awesome it is to be working with you on this podcast.
Well, look at you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is that why you were asking me earlier how many more we had of just me and you for this year because you wanted to be nice?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. And then we'll get back into the trenches after that.
Well, I'm having a fantastic time myself. So let's keep it up, shall we?
Hey, before you go, about these colds, about the season flus and stuff like that, as a radio announcer, how do you get by that? When it's time to go on live and you're sitting like I am, which I can't. I can have the mute situation. I can mute myself, but you can't. How do you do that?
Well, I have not missed a day of work in 15 years. I have never taken a sick day, so I push through. It's because I'm a ginger, Darin, and I'm stubborn as all fuck.
Yeah, that's right.
So I won't miss a day. So I just fight through it. And you know what? Perfect. You have the ability to change your log. So if I feel like I'm about to go like into a hack attack or something, I'll just add another song or what have you. There's ways. There's sneaky ways. And I have also coughed on the radio, so whatever. I'm a person.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
As he mutes his mic to hack.
Whoops, I'm back.
What a great way to leave it. Okay.
I know. Crazy. All right. This has been a blast. Thanks, Tosh. And thank you for listening, everyone. And we'll be back at you soon. You've been listening to the Authentic Ginger Podcast.
Become a part of the Ginger Nation by liking, subscribing, following, and leaving a review wherever you listen to podcasts. This podcast was produced by Tosh Taylor of the Podcast Hub Productions. Find her online at podcasthub.ca.